What's that sound? Everybody look.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman as we continue with Cecile Richards. She's president of Planned Parenthood, Federation of America, the nation's leading provider of reproductive health care and sex education, and the country's largest advocacy organization for women's health and rights. Let's talk about H.R. 358, the Protect Life Act. What would that do, Cecile Richards?
Well, I'm sorry, tell me.
The H.R. 358 Protect Life Act that would allow hospitals to refuse to provide abortions even when necessary to save a woman's life.
Right. I apologize. I didn't remember the number. We have, as you know, there is a raft of bills that have now been introduced in Congress, really in the House. And the concern over this bill is that is allowing hospitals to refuse treatment even in the case of a woman's life who needs an abortion. And of course, there have been massive expansions of conscience clauses and legislation to allow hospitals and even, of course, pharmacists to refuse to fill birth control prescriptions. And this is the concern about this bill, that it would allow, if a woman, and as you know, in some communities, you don't have a lot of hospitals to choose from. And this would, our concern about this bill is it would allow hospitals to refuse life-saving treatment if a woman needed an abortion based on conscience. And again, I think this is where the leadership of the House isn't focusing on women's health. They are focusing on an ideological agenda, and they don't understand how this is going to affect real women's lives. And that's the story that we're trying to tell to Congress.
H.R. 217, the measure which has 122 co-sponsors, called the Title X Abortion Provider Prohibition Act, that would ban federal funding for other services to organizations that perform abortions. How would that affect Planned Parenthood, and what does that mean?
I know there's so many. So essentially, one of the big goals is to prevent healthcare providers who provide an array of healthcare services. If any of the services they provide include abortions or abortion referrals, they should not be. This bill says they should not be able to get any federal funds for family planning, which on the face of it is ridiculous. Right now, as an example, Planned Parenthood is the biggest reproductive health care provider in the country. We actually, under the Title X program, which is our nation's family planning program, we provide more than a third of the clients who come in through the Title X program, we provide them family planning. So this would essentially take Planned Parenthood completely out of that system, as well as any other family planning provider that provided abortion care. And if I could, to remember, abortion is legal in this country. This is basically taking something that everyone is, that family planning clinics are providing, that is a legal service, and saying, if you provide this service, you can no longer provide family planning. The most ridiculous part about it is that for Congressman Pence and the others who are proposing these bills, Planned Parenthood does more to prevent unintended pregnancy and the need for abortion than any organization in America. So I don't really know where they think the millions of women who come to us and other providers are going to go for family planning anymore, and what the result will be.
I want to go to the state level, Cecile, to what is happening in various states with at least 29 anti-choice governors. The battleground has shifted to the state legislatures. First, talk about what's happening right now in South Dakota.
Well, I mean, South Dakota is one example of a very egregious bill that speaks to the interference of anyone who was trying to terminate a pregnancy. And it's a complicated bill, so I don't want to get into all of the details, but it is what we're seeing in South Dakota. I could list states across the country. Our state legislatures, who unfortunately are much in the mold now of the leadership of the House of Representatives, who instead of focusing on the really hard and important issues of the day about their budgets, their economy, they are using this as an opening with the shift to the right in the leadership in these legislatures to now try to repeal every single right that women have to legal abortion. And they're focusing as well on providers. And the goal is not only to make sure that women don't have access, but to make sure that doctors are afraid to even provide legal abortions in this country. And that's really what the South Dakota bill is about.
And talk about what is happening in Kansas, Cecile Richards.
Well, I mean, there were so many things happening in Kansas. I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, we've obviously, in the state of Kansas, we've been dealing with very bad legislation for years, for decades. So, I mean, we could talk about these specific states, but I think the important thing, just to sort of bring it back overall, is that what we are seeing, but it's not just at the state level. I agree with you that there are a lot of problems at the state level, but we are literally seeing the federal government, the U.S. House of Representatives, trying to end birth control access in America. So I agree that the states are where some of the most egregious state bills are, but it's much bigger than that. And I think this is what we are seeing around the country is this unbelievable overreach by the leadership that was elected in November, not focusing on what the people want, but in fact focusing on issues about abortion access, taking away birth control, allowing hospitals to refuse treatment, allowing pharmacists to refuse birth control. This is not what the American people voted for, and I think there's going to be an enormous political backlash, which we're already beginning to see at Planned Parenthood. Folks coming into our clinics and saying, I cannot believe I've just heard that the U.S. House of Representatives is trying to shut down Planned Parenthood.
Cecile Richards, the Republican attack on women's reproductive rights coincides with the release of the series of undercover videos aimed at discrediting your organization, Planned Parenthood. The campaign has been compared to a similar attack on the community group Acorn in 2008 that relied on deceptively edited videos secretly recorded by James O'Keefe. One undercover recorded video was recorded in New York, appears to show a worker at Planned Parenthood counseling a male client and a young woman on how to get abortions for child prostitutes. It was released by the anti-choice group Live Action, which conducted a sting operation at 12 Planned Parenthood clinics in 6 states. Can you talk about what this whole video campaign led by Lila Rose is all about?
Sure. Thanks for asking, Amy. This is actually, for the past 4 years, this organization, Live Action, has been going undercover and using this sort of sting operation technique to try to entrap Planned Parenthood clinicians all across the country, then using fake and doctored tapes to try to ruin or damage our reputation. And you're exactly right. The same folks who trained these people are the ones who trained the folks that were arrested trying to tap the phones of Senator Mary Landrieu in Louisiana, who trained the folks who went in and entrapped Acorn. It's exactly the same playbook that we've seen on the right, and you know it's a very deceptive organization. Their tapes cannot be trusted, and they have no interest or any concern about the welfare of young women or women in general. Their whole stated goal is to end legal abortion in America, to overturn Roe, and to put Planned Parenthood out of business. And that is really their purpose. As soon as we saw that there were folks posing as these people as pimps, as prostitutes, claiming that they were underage sex trafficking rings, we reported not only to the local authorities, but we went to the U.S. Attorney General, to General Holder, and said, a crime may be being committed. We don't know who these people are, but you need to investigate, and they've been very helpful in doing so.
Well, the veracity of the Live Action videos is in serious dispute. I mean, it's interesting, Cecile, at the same time this week, the headline of Shirley Sherrod, who's suing Andrew Breitbart, because the sequence is very clear. First, the videos are made, heavily edited. They go on Andrew Breitbart's website. Fox picks them up, and then a huge campaign is launched by Republicans in Congress. That's what happened with Acorn, and they succeeded in completely destroying the Acorn organization, even though afterwards the General Accountability Office said that vindicated Acorn totally, saying that no federal funding was used for anything that was nefarious or illegal.
You're absolutely right. The same playbook. They're trying to use it against Planned Parenthood, and it's not going to work. But it is really unbelievable that an organization that's been so discredited, like Live Action, that uses fake and doctored tapes, does get the media play that they do. I think that one of the and it's clearly being timed at the same time that Congress is dealing with, and that the U.S. House of Representatives is trying to end access to family planning and trying to end access by Planned Parenthood to federal funds for the programs that we run. So this is all clearly all coordinated.
I wanted to play
Sure.
a clip of Congressman Mike Pence, who's used the videos as ammunition to build support for H.R. 217, the bill that would deny federal family planning funds to any organization that performs abortions, including Planned Parenthood. Pence spoke about the videos last week on the floor of the House.
It's a surprise to most Americans to learn that the largest abortion provider in America is also the largest recipient of federal funding under Title X. And it's heartbreaking news this morning that Planned Parenthood of America has now been the subject of one more undercover video showing someone posing as a pimp being facilitated by employees at Planned Parenthood in how to secure secret abortions, STD testing, and contraception for child prostitutes. You know, as a father of 2 teenage daughters, I see the video that came out this morning. I see the video that came out last week, and it's an outrage to me that employees of Planned Parenthood clinics across the country are facilitating the abuse of minor girls in this country. It should be a scandal to every American. The time has come to deny all federal funding to Planned Parenthood of America. I've authored the Title X Abortion Provider Prohibition Act, which would deny Title X funds to Planned Parenthood or any other abortion provider, and Congress must act, and act now, to move this important legislation. Pro-life Americans and all Americans should not be forced to subsidize America's largest abortion provider or to continue to provide federal taxpayer dollars to Title X clinics that engage in this abhorrent behavior.
Cecile Richards, president of Planned Parenthood Federation of America, your response?
Congressman Pence has been trying to end legal abortion in this country, I think, ever since he got into office. Every single year, he introduces a bill to try to end funding for Planned Parenthood. He's simply working in cahoots with this discredited organization, Live Action, with faked-up tapes to try to give fuel to the fire here. And I think the incredible thing, it's interesting that he refers to his children. I have, of course, 3 children myself, and I have two daughters. And my concern is about, what about my daughters and the millions of women who currently count on Planned Parenthood, 3 million patients who come to us every single year for basic family planning and preventive care. Mr. Pence's interest is not in any of these things he says. He simply wants to end access to women for reproductive health care. And I think he should just be straight up about what his purpose is. That's what this is all about.